Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Hollywood After Dark. Today, of course, is the 2nd of November, 2021. Morbius full trailer dropped, that Moonfall. And Carol Baskin suing Netflix amongst a bunch of other weird-ass news. Why don't we just dive right the hell into it? Hey, what's going on, everyone? Oops, I totally did not click that off. There we go. There we go, guys. How y'all doing? Hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having a fantastic night. I just got home from doing my food deliveries, so I'm a little bit behind. I do apologize for that, but it's been another interesting day here in the land of movies. We have a lot to, I think, look at and a lot to discuss tonight. I will be joined by Anna from Underhaven here in a second or two, and we'll be taking a look at the new Morbius trailer. We'll be taking a look at the Carol Baskin suing Netflix. We'll be talking about the Moonfall trailer, and even Johnny Depp is getting some support to come back to Pirates of the Caribbean from a longtime cast member. And maybe a couple of things that might pop up tonight, all depending. You guys can, in fact, drop a link or let me know a story that you might want me to talk about real quick in the chat there. As always, I do want to give a quick shout out to the channel members. You guys are fantastic here. The IMAX crowd, the Prime members, and of course, the matinee people. You guys help keep this channel afloat. And again, if you do like this show, if you do like Hollywood After Dark mocking a Pornhub label, by all means, please leave a like. And be sure to also check out the Stranger Days podcast. You can find that at youtube.com/Forbidden Knowledge 2. And that's got a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline. Like, for example, I just got the episodes up for the story of murder, mayhem, and male strippers over at Chippendales. It's a fascinating tale about the downfall of the creator of that company. If you want to know more about Canada Kamloops mass graves with residential schools, it's a sad tale, but it's an interesting one. And then if you happen to be a fan of the Tibia MMO game, you might want to hear the story of Daniel Petrie, the Tibia MMO killer, although that one definitely not for the faint of heart. And this month we are going to be doing giveaways, by the way. It's going to be Alita Battle Angel 4K. Probably going to do 2 copies of those this month because it is on sale right now. I can get it for a very good price. So I'm going to pass that savings on to you. And remember, the best way to do that is, of course, becoming a channel member. The $2, the $5, the $10. It all helps out. And if you guys want to call in and leave a voicemail, you can do so at 323-305-4101. That's 323-305-4101. All right, enough of any of that intro shilling stuff. Let's talk with the chat, see how you guys are doing, and of course, how your day has been. What do we got here? Geeks is saying right off the bat, notifications for once are working. Yeah, sometimes they work, buddy. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It is all just about that. I see Taylor, I see Music Man, I see Geeks, Spherical Man, Jarbo. What up, buddy? How you doing? Music Man here. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you very much. We got ourselves, let's see. We got Rainbow here saying Morbius, baby. You know, I got to say, I'm actually pretty happy with what I saw. I thought it was pretty cool. It's interesting to see exactly how Sony is trying to go about this, even though it's kind of all over the place. At the same time, it's just, fuck it, it works. So Taylor here says, I just got home from driving people around. I'm drinking a cactus cooler mixed with cheap boxed vodka. I feel like you're drinking an upper and a downer, man. An upper and a downer, because Cactus Cooler is the only orange soda with caffeine in it. So by all means, enjoy that. I went out doing delivery driving tonight too, and it was remarkably dead. It was pretty dead. I wasn't happy with it at all. The orders I got were far out in like the middle of nowhere and everything. And it was really funny because as I got to one location to drop off food, there was another woman pulling up to drop off a package. And I thought she was another delivery driver, and the people had just ordered bulk food to like their very nice, rich mansion. And it turns out she's an Amazon Plex driver. And I'm like, oh, how does that work? So her and I were discussing the concept of driving for Amazon Plex. So maybe if I decide that delivering people's McDonald's and stinking up my car is not the best for me, I can always take a job working for Amazon. As if that's going to be any better. Anyway, that's why I really want Stranger Days to do good. I want this show to do good. It's all good. All right. Rational Skeptic here says, Jonathan McIntosh says he doesn't go to the movie theater because there aren't mask mandates in his town. I'm thinking like, dude, if you're fully vaccinated, why do you care? Well, here's the thing, Rational. If you're fully vaccinated, it doesn't mean that you can't get sick. It does mean that the impact of it will impact you less, and your spread of COVID will be diminished. That doesn't mean that you are not going to feel the impacts of it. It just means that you have a high likelihood of surviving it. That's the whole point. He just doesn't want to get sick, and I don't blame him. But even if there aren't mask mandates in his town, him wearing a mask is perfectly valid and perfectly fine, and it's still going to be okay. I just think that, he's kind of psycho. But I've always said that about Jonathan McIntosh. I've always said that. But by the way, let's see here. Did I hear about the guy in Japan who dressed up as the Joker and stabbed 17 people? Sure sounds like a Stranger Days episode. I did hear about the guy who dressed up like the Joker and stabbed 17 people today. I haven't fully looked into it because I was researching another tale this morning. And I need to, but the thing is, I don't know if a lot of information on that's available right now. So that's kind of, if there is information available, I'll look into it, but I'll definitely keep it in the back burner. Cause that is, what's up with dudes dressing up like the Joker and hurting people? And remember James Holmes, the Aurora, Colorado theater shooter?
I remember that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think obviously that's why it's done, because there's a precedent for it. So people get in their head like, okay, well, that other guy who was crazy did it, so I guess I'm the Joker too.
Some Japanese guy like, I am the Joker now.
Yeah. Wow.
But in Japanese, no, but the guy stabbed 17 people, which is definitely insane. And, I mean, like I guess that's better than going into a movie theater with an AR and like drums, magazine, like ammo drums in your gun and opening fire. That's a totally different, sort of thing. But either way, it's all tragic. And I hope everyone makes a full recovery who is definitely there. Those stories are always kind of hard to follow because as the news is breaking, you don't get a lot of intel. Like, for example, the story I was looking into today was about a British spy, or you could argue he was a secret agent, not James Bond necessarily, but they found him dead and he was in a duffel bag, and the duffel bag was sealed from the outside with a padlock. The key to the padlock was inside the duffel bag underneath this guy's body, and they ruled it accidental. Like what? Are you kidding me?
Accidental. I'm sure nothing.
Accidental. Yeah. I accidentally locked myself in this North Face duffel bag, completely naked, and I don't know. It's the stupidest shit. But it's a crazy story. That should probably be up here in a week or two. But I did write it today. Let's see here. And all right. Spherical Man says, I thought the Joker thing happened a year or so ago, or are there just that many stabbings over there that they all blend together? There are a lot of stabbings in Japan. And a lot of serial killers in Japan too, by the way. Again, in my research, I come across these kind of stories and they're all pretty crazy. All right, let's see here. McLeod says, I think it also just ends up putting more stigma on comic books and its characters, just like how they ignorantly blame violent video games as the number one reason for violence in young people and school shootings. Well, I don't know. I mean, like we've kind of determined that at this point, video games don't cause violence and comic book characters don't cause violence. But,
media always gets blamed though.
Yeah, the media always gets blamed. But it's just like, that's unfortunately just the way. I mean, they're always going to say that again, look at who pushed the narrative that Joker 2019 was going to be a movie that was going to cause a mass shooting. That was Peter Sciretta from Slash Film. And now he doesn't even really do anything with Slash Film. He runs a fucking vlog where they go to him and his girlfriend or wife or whatever. They go to Disneyland or Disney World or Universal. They travel around and they just go to theme parks and vlog it and stuff. And now they're doing cruises. So it's, one of those situations where like, he's not even doing anything on his own website really anymore. He's just running it, collecting a paycheck and going off and making YouTube content. I mean, I guess that's the life. I guess that's the life. Not having to do the daily grind. You work past the daily grind and you get to go and, goof off at theme parks. I'm not going to say I'm not jealous. Okay. I'll admit, because that would be kind of fucking cool. But also fuck Peter Sciretta. So
wow. Okay.
Well, no, because the guy's going out there saying like the kind of people that are going to like joke are the kind of people that are going to shoot up a school. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like the shit he was saying. Yeah, the shit he was saying for that crap. That's what I'm talking about. Right. No, Tim, we haven't gotten to the Morbius trailer yet. We've been waiting for people to come on in. Only been live for about 11 minutes. So we'll get to that here in a second. Let's see. Simon says an agent stuffed in a duffel bag. I saw this in Mission Impossible 2. Well, maybe this guy was trying to recreate that. I don't quite know. It's a whole mess of a story. All right. And then RPK asking, did you see the casting news for the new Christopher Nolan movie, RDJ and Matt Damon? How the hell is Universal going to keep this budget reasonable? Well, oftentimes, a lot of actors, believe it or not, will in fact, they'll lower their budget depending, like this budget, the movie's budget is $100 million. And actors like to act. And so they don't always do it for the money. The thing with the Marvel movies, though, is because of the success of the franchise, Robert Downey Jr. can demand that kind of money from Marvel and get it because there is value there for him to be involved. Same with all the other actors that are there. But on other movies, like how many times do you see an actor pop up in a small direct-to-DVD movie or something? And you're like, well, wait, why the hell is this person there? Like, how did they get Bruce Willis to play this role in this movie? Like, isn't he a big AAA action star? Like, what's going on? And the thing is actors like to act. That's what they do. And if it's a compelling project, they're going to want to go work on it. And in the case of a Christopher Nolan movie, guess what it also means? Potential Oscar bait. So in this situation, what you're looking at is potentially Robert Downey Jr. and Matt Damon taking a pay cut up front for going for back end points because that could help raise the profile to make more money.
That's true. That might be a strategy they're going for.
It's a strategy, yeah. And also, again, it's these guys working in a Christopher Nolan movie. Do you think if fucking Quentin Tarantino called up Robert Downey Jr. was like, hey, I want you in my last movie, but I can only pay you $20 or some shit like that, right? Do you not think that Robert Downey Jr. wouldn't jump at the chance to work for Quentin Tarantino? Because there's prestige to work for those directors. That's the other part of it too. It's prestige to be chosen for that because Christopher Nolan is such a massively popular director and one that is very impactful in Hollywood. Working for him, especially in this case, because Robert Downey Jr., I read, is playing the antagonist in the movie. So he's playing the bad guy who wants to shut down Oppenheimer and the work that he's doing on the atomic bomb.
And he's not had a really successful role since Iron Man, so.
I mean, you got Sherlock Holmes. But that's like the only one. That's literally the only one. And it's been 10 years since Sherlock Holmes 2 came out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, since being Iron Man.
Yeah. But then he also tried doing that Dr. Dolittle movie 2 years ago or a year ago. That was pretty bad.
Oh, that was terrible.
So let's see. Music Man here says Universal is very cheap. Yeah, Universal is realizing where they've got to be cheap in order to kind of, get the benefits of having a movie do well in the box office, right? I don't know. RPK says RDJ took $10 million for 8 minutes worth of work in Spider-Man Homecoming. Really? I heard it was like 40 million for that. But yeah, I mean, if he's only on there for 10 minutes or 8 minutes worth of work and he got $10 million, I mean, that's what the negotiation is. The negotiation boils down to like, this is, this is what his agents are able to negotiate. It's like we were talking about with the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit and everything with like Cameron Pasha at Midnight Edge trying to say that Kevin Feige was using Scarlett Johansson to go after Bob Chapek, which is like the stupidest thing ever, because Scarlett Johansson's agent was the one who negotiated the deal. Her representation, her agent, her manager, everyone, they all negotiated that deal with Disney. When Disney reneged on that deal, that directly impacted their bottom line. Right. So that's, again, it's not as cut and dry as some people out there trying to make it. Let's see here. RDJ and has got his sweet tooth going for him and his wife. That's true. Producing, because Robert Downey Jr. was going to do a lot of producing work for a while, and then that kind of backed off after. Well, he did that movie, The Judge. It came out, I don't remember when it came out, but it came out like 2013 maybe. And it was like meant to be this, like, Robert Duvall is in it and Robert Downey Jr. is in it. And it's meant to be this like gripping character study, this drama. And it just crashed and burned. So then after The Judge came out and died, Downey Jr. started doubling down on working with the MCU. If you notice, from 2015 until 2019, Robert Downey Jr. was in a Marvel movie every one of those years. 5 years in a row, he was in a Marvel movie. Nothing else really, but he was in a Marvel movie. Age of Ultron, Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Infinity War, and Endgame.
No, his career is going to define whether or not he comes back to the MCU in any level. I guarantee.
Yeah. Well, Rainbow here asks, do you think that RDJ will come back to the MCU? I think here's the thing. The guy has made a lot of money. I think he also wants to be a good storyteller. And for him to come back to the MCU, there'd have to be a really good reason to come back.
It depends on what capacity, too.
Yeah. I don't see him coming back as a leading role, maybe a cameo here, a cameo there sort of thing. If they really do open up everything in regards to the multiverse, he could easily come back and play a variant of himself, which is something that a lot of people would want to see. But at the same time, I just kind of feel that it is kind of ridiculous, right? Like I feel like he's done his part, and he's played his role well. He did it for a long time. He's heavily beloved. If he comes back, it runs the risk of damaging the character.
I don't think we're going to see him again until we have, like, how we had like that big moment in Endgame where like all the heroes were together and it was that epic fucking battle.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see like the characters that have been like lost until they do the big Endgame multiversal equivalent to that, which I think is going to be quite a while from now, honestly. But I do think that day will come, and I think that they'll probably have every character represented in the MCU there. Hopefully by that time, even the X-Men and Fantastic Four. That'd be cool.
Well, I do think that what's going to happen to an extent is we are going to, we're right now we're kind of in what I'm calling the multiverse saga, because the first 23 films or whatever were like the Infinity Saga.
Do you think the multiverse saga is going to be as long as the Infinity Saga, though? I doubt it.
No, I don't think it's gonna take as long, because they have a lot more to play with. They have to build towards something. So what are they building towards? Is it Kang the Conqueror? Is he going to be the big bad of this particular saga? Will the multiverse outstay its welcome? Because here's the thing with that, guys. It's going to outstay its welcome. It always does. The multiverse only really matters at a moment in time when you need it to matter. Otherwise, everything is, I don't want to say 100% self-contained, but there are elements of things that should remain self-contained for the purpose of storytelling. If that ends up getting, if you end up like making it too long in the tooth, people are going to lose interest, because then they're trying to count on their fingers, like, how many fucking Spider-Men are there? How many Iron Men are there now? What's going on with this? Who's alive? Who's dead? And what universe are they in? How does it all connect? It becomes complicated. And the last thing you ever want your audience to do is to think too hard.
It's already getting complicated, unfortunately.
Well, that's why Loki exists. And I don't understand. I heard you earlier saying, a lot, dude, come on. Disney Plus is over 100 million subscribers. You telling me that the vast majority of them didn't
Well,
watch
continue with the
Loki?
other point. Go on.
My point was, I heard you earlier say that you felt that Loki had like the weakest finale because it didn't do anything for you. And I'm like,
It was
but
the
that
least satisfying.
how? But how is it? It's literally showing you the birth of the multiverse. Like
Well,
it's literally showing that the variant at that time, Kang at that point in time, had in fact seen his life
I
up
like
until that
seeing
moment.
I like seeing the multiverse and everything, but like as for like the fucking title character, I didn't feel like where he was. I feel like he didn't really gain any ground from where he was at the exact fucking goddamn start of the show. In terms of
Well,
where he
okay,
actually was.
so here's the thing with that, right? They kind of rushed his character development to get him back to where he
Yeah,
was
I
at the
thought that
beginning
was
of
kind of
Infinity War.
ham-fisted, but whatever.
But
Like,
well, that needed to happen. It
I
needed to
didn't hate it
happen.
like some other people do. I'll say that.
Well, the people who attacked Loki the way that they did that very illegitimately and very much with malice, in my opinion. But no, the thing is, like, look, the audiences had grown to love Tom Hiddleston's character over the span of the films. He was the villain in the first Thor. He was the villain in Avengers. He was kind of an anti-hero, still pseudo villain in Thor: The Dark World. In Thor Ragnarok, he started off as a villain and then became an ally and then a brother.
You know what? Because I did prefer him from the Dark World and like Ragnarok. I preferred like more of that anti-hero like type of Loki. But you know what though? A lot of people came out of that Loki show, big fucking Loki fans, disappointed because they don't want to see him be like that. They don't want to see him be like that. They want to see fucking Loki being evil ass fucking Loki. That's why I was hoping. I was really fucking hoping. And honestly, I will say I was kind of disappointed that the villain at the end of it all wasn't like King Loki, because that would have been such a fucking poetic way to like have the show go. Like, oh, he's the protagonist and the antagonist. That way we get the good guy Loki and the bad guy Loki. Every Loki fan gets appeased. But I don't know. I didn't have an issue with Kang, but it kind of came out of nowhere. Let's be honest, it kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think there was that many hints leading up to that.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying there, but again, when we're talking about the normies who watch this stuff, they don't give a shit about comic book accurate Loki. They don't actually care about.
No, okay, because like there's a ton of fucking fans of Loki that were pissed off that are just fans of the MCU Loki. Like they liked how he was in like Avengers and Thor and like the
No, I get that. Now, Mr. Overspawned here does make a point. He says Avengers 1 Loki becoming Infinity War Loki after watching a clip show was lazy and stupid. It had to happen though. That's the point. That's the whole point. You have to get Loki back to pseudo hero status very quickly.
Well, all right, for something that's planned out as the MCU, then why they fucking even bother fucking killing off Loki in the first place?
In Infinity War?
I like it. You have to ask me. Yeah, and that.
Sorry, no. Well, because I was thinking like he's kind of died, whatever. They killed him off in Infinity War because they needed to raise the stakes for Thor's story, for Thor's arc.
One of the things I don't like about Infinity Wars, I feel like it really invalidates a lot of the shit that happened in Ragnarok. Like, it just takes a huge crap over it. Like,
what are you talking about?
Like, Ragnarok ends where it's like, all right, Thor becomes king. There's a new hope for his people. He suffered a lot. He's lost his fucking planet. But now they finally have a chance at redemption. They're going to go somewhere else and restart their civilization. And immediately after that, after he loses everything, he gets shit on again. I don't know. I didn't like that. I was not a huge fucking fan of
the whole concept of that, though, was there was a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder for Thor. That was his arc.
Yeah, but
his
they
arc
already gave that. He already lost his goddamn fucking planet and his father and a bunch of.
And then we saw the ramifications of that act, because Infinity War takes place immediately following Ragnarok, like literally within days.
Yeah, I know. Like
so what you're seeing is Ragnarok again only took place over the span of a couple days. So during the time frame from the beginning of Ragnarok to the ending of Infinity War, those two films, it was only like a couple days, all things considered. So Thor, and then at the end of Infinity War, when Thor had the chance to kill Thanos to kind of set things right, to get revenge for his brother, and he missed his shot, which is that whole line about going for the head. And then Thanos snapped and took out half of existence and then disappeared. Thor felt that. He felt guilt from that. He felt he had failed. That was the whole point of his character, Fat Thor, in Endgame. There was an emotional arc that started with Ragnarok, with losing Odin and then losing Asgard and then, finding Loki, having finally an understanding with his brother and also assuming his rightful place as king to lead the people of Asgard. That was what he was going to do. And then all of a sudden he loses his support structure again in the next movie. Literally, like right at the end of that, here comes Thanos to collect his prize and kills Loki and ends up, blowing everything up and killing half of the Asgardians and everything else. And so Thor is pissed, but then that anger fails him. And from there, he then turns to eating and distractions through gaming and booze.
It's mad obesity.
He very much had, and also there was 5 years. 5 years he had of living in this depression, in this funk. And again, if you go back and you watch, there was those conversations between Rocket and Thor in Ragnarok, where Thor is talking about his feelings. Sorry, not the Ragnarok, Infinity War, where Thor is talking about his feelings. His arc in those movies are fantastic in my mind. So, and
I guess I'll wait and see what they do with Love and Thunder before I really come to my conclusion about how they treated him there. But if he just continues to be a goddamn joke, I'm not going to be happy.
Sure, I get that. I don't know what's going to happen.
Like, I'm really concerned about him becoming a goddamn joke in that movie because
well,
I think you know why.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know what I thought he was good in Thor 3. I don't get the hatred for Ragnarok. Music Man here says, I hate Thor 3 so much. I don't get it. I
think it's
loved
a really
it.
good movie.
It took me a couple times watching it to really kind of get it, because I actually enjoyed Thor the Dark World. It's not perfect, but I enjoyed like the medieval aspect to it, more time on Asgard, things like that. And I get why they wanted to go the more comedic route. And I'm sorry, I've said this and I've always say this. Ghostbusters 2016 is the reason why we got funny Thor. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay.
You know what else bothered me about Infinity War?
Yeah.
Is that they had him lose his eye in Ragnarok to make him look more like Odin, right? And that was supposed to be like a symbolic thing. And then immediately in Infinity War, they just give him like a fake eye.
They give him a robotic eye.
That was kind of stupid. Like
it was funny. It was funny.
It was
because,
funny
because the eye belonged to one of the Ravagers. And that was killed in Guardians 2, and it was completely a different color. So he has one blue eye and one brown eye,
Yeah,
and then there was a joke about the eye being, I think, like hidden up Rocket's butt or something.
Yeah, it was hidden up Rocket Raccoon's asshole.
So it's just like
now
really,
every time you look at fucking Odin's eye, you're gonna realize it's
it is brown. It's brown, and so it's just like whatever. I thought it was funny. Rational here says, as fans, we shouldn't blind ourselves to the problems of the MCU, and the MCU has a lot of problems / plot holes, even though I really love it. I don't think it has as many plot holes as people out there like to argue. Because, don't get me wrong, they've done course correction on a couple things here and there, and that's okay too. But I still, again, it's been very consistent, and I still really like where it's gone. But, but it's not perfect. I mean, there are problems with all the movies to an extent, and even when I see Eternals on Thursday night, which I probably won't be streaming on Thursday night because I can only get to a later showing, and that movie's 2.5 hours long, so I'm not going to come home at 1:00 in the morning and do a fucking live stream. So, all right, and we got Shogun here for $5, buddy. Thank you. Says Rag was a good movie, but you don't call a comedic film Ragnarok.
That was the point, the contrast. Look, I get some people don't like it, but like that was the entire point, was the contrast of like this terrible fucking tragedy all while they're making jokes in the background. I guess it's not for everybody, but like, come on, man, that was the point.
I still think that the whole thing of he's a friend from work is a great line. Just like I thought that was great.
No, I love Ragnarok. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, like because also the joke about what do we call ourselves? We call ourselves the Revenges. You know,
Yeah.
it's like okay, they get it,
There's
Humor
a lot good about
goes
it.
a long way. Yeah, Taylor here says comedy is tragedy plus timing. Absolutely. Tony asking, are you ever going to see No Time to Die? Here's the thing, Tony. If I had time on Thursday night, I would go see No Time to Die. It's either I don't stream like tomorrow night and I don't stream Thursday night, which I could do because I'll just end up going out after I go do deliveries and I'll just go see them at the end of the night, which is fine. But it's also like, because I've been on now, this is my 9th day in a row streaming, I think. I've been on for 9 days straight. So I am kind of tired, to be honest with you. Like, I am a little bit on the tired side. And I wouldn't mind going and just seeing a couple movies. I still haven't even watched Army of Thieves yet. Just haven't had the time. So... Find the time. Yes. Well, can I get both of my kids in school all day? That'd be great. That would help me out. All right. Why don't we, now that we're literally 30 minutes into this thing, we've had a good conversation, so I'm very happy with it. Why don't we take a look here at the trailer that everyone was kind of talking about today? And of course, what I'm referring to is, this one called Moonfall. Have you heard of Moonfall?
I've heard of it before. Haven't seen the trailer yet.
See, we're going to watch the Morbius trailer too, but I wanted to kind of fake everybody out. So Moonfall here is a new disaster porn movie by Roland Emmerich, who did Independence Day, who did Stargate, who did 10,000 BC and The Day After Tomorrow and 2012. I mean, this guy has blown up a lot of shit. So now he's back with apparently a movie about the moon being fake or something.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I honest to God have no idea. I just saw a tweet about that earlier. Have no idea. So let's take a look here at Moonfall. And I haven't watched this yet. So there's that. Hold on. RBK asking, why does Roland Emmerich want the world to end so badly? I don't know. I don't know.
One of these days he's going to get his wish.
Yeah. Maybe he's just waiting for his career to end, so he has something. I don't know. He's just predicting it.
Well, that's going to be the best inspiration ever, but then he won't have a career.
Oh, you should look at photos of parties that him and Bryan Singer have thrown together. I mean, yeah, there's some shit there. But anyway, let's move into this.
I'm not prepared for this.
Incoming! T-minus 3, 2, 1. Go for ignition.
Already sold. Gonna go see it.
No, I'm not.
Dude, disaster porn is awesome.
No, it's not. It sucks.
Yes, it is.
It's the lowest garbage tier.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It sucks.
1969.
2012, that's just when you fucking fill out a census.
No, that's 2010.
Whatever.
In school, you were taught that Apollo 11 lost contact with the world for 2 minutes.
But you filled out your census, Matt.
I did. On the job, by the way.
Not true. They found something on that day that they kept hidden for 50 years. And now, it's too late to stop.
In breaking news, the governor has just ordered the mass evacuation of the entire West Coast.
Moving to higher ground is the only possible chance of surviving.
Stay awake, my brothers and sisters! Stay awake!
This planet has suffered 5 extinctions. This is going to be the 6th.
Are we dead? No, we are just inside the moon. That might be the greatest sentence anyone's ever said.
Want to know my opinion, Matt?
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich has run out of ideas.
Most likely, but I don't fucking care.
Wait,
I want to see
you're
that
not
movie so bad.
You're not gonna watch this.
Oh,
are
I'm
you?
so gonna go see it. Dude, I love Geostorm. Geostorm when that came out. That Gerard Butler one. That one is
don't
not
watch
done.
this.
It's not done by Roland Emmerich, but it was written and directed by Dean Devlin, who wrote Independence Day and who wrote The Day After Tomorrow. And he's worked with these with Roland Emmerich on these disaster porn films. So I love a good disaster porn movie. So yes,
This is
I
gonna
am.
be the same shit as 2012.
Fuck it. Who cares? Yeah, it
I
just
care.
but
I
by the time this one comes out, which is February 2022, it's already going to end up being 10 years since 2012 came out. And you know what? We're still here, Annie. Okay, we're still fucking here.
Now
We're not
people are
fucking
gonna,
dead.
well, now a bunch of crazy people are gonna think like the moon doesn't exist because of fucking this movie.
See, RBK here agrees with me. Geostorm was actually surprisingly good.
Geostorm.
It was actually surprisingly good. And even Spherical Matter says Greenland was actually better than I'd
Fucking
expected.
Greenland.
Hey, did you know Greenland is getting a sequel? It did well enough, came out during the pandemic. It did well enough on like limited theatrical and PVOD.
Damn, a pandemic sequel. That's right.
And it's getting a sequel. And it's like, I don't know what happened. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've heard it's good. Jess here saying that the Purge movie takes place in 2022. I mean, like, look, what if the Purge actually happened?
I guarantee that's going to be like a Purge movie. Like
there's going to be a Purge movie that takes place at the US Capitol.
No, there's going to oh my god. Anyway. No, there's going to be a Purge movie that's like, what if Purge happened in real life?
Yeah.
Guarantee.
Well, McLeod here says, as much as Independence Day Resurgence was a disappointment, I still would like to see a continuation or expansion on taking the fight to the harvesters. Yes, exactly. Independence Day Resurgence was not that good of a movie. It really wasn't. It was terribly written. It was absolutely it was written with international audiences in mind. So they dumbed down the commentary, they dumbed down the jokes in order to make it more easily translatable to different languages. But it still had a kind of cool setup for lore where it's like, oh, okay, now we know that the harvesters are, we can take the fight to them, so to speak. And that would have been pretty cool to set up, humans going to the alien planet and going like, knock, knock, bitch. We got MacBooks, motherfucker. Bam. I would.
Ain't nobody gonna be impressed by a fucking MacBook, Matt.
Hey, you weren't alive in 1996, all right? Like, you weren't alive in 1996. You were born in 97, weren't you?
98.
98, yeah, right? You weren't, yeah. So you don't remember the summer of 1996, July 4th weekend. Little movie came out. Maybe you heard of it. It's called Independence Day. What saved the day? A MacBook with a computer virus.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Have you not seen Independence Day?
No, I've not.
Motherfucker, are you kidding me?
I fucking heard of it. I heard this. I'm not interested in that type of shit, man. It just seems like a popcorn flick.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, it's a popcorn flick, goddammit. There's nothing wrong with the popcorn flick.
Not my type of film.
How do you know if you haven't seen it?
I want my brain stimulated, Jarbo.
Dude, it's got a young Jeff Goldblum. He will stimulate more than your brain. Wow.
It does have Jeff Goldblum in it.
Does have Jeff Goldblum. It's got Bill Pullman. It's got Will Smith. It's got Harry Connick Jr. It's got Vivica A. Fox. It's got Harvey Firestein. It's got Adam Baldwin, the progenitor of Gamergate, the namer of Gamergate, in that movie. Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It's got Brent Spiner, who played Data on Star Trek, as a mad scientist.
Damn, there's a lot of names.
Ray here says Independence Day is kind of a snooze fest. That is heresy, Raya. That is heresy. That is heresy. That is heresy.
Holy shit.
Right?
Man.
Shogun here is right. It is the popcorn flick of popcorn flicks. I mean, it's like infinitely quotable to an extent. I don't know, maybe the nostalgia factor is there. is I don't know, man. Let's see here. She's Ashura says the fact that they called it Independence Day made no sense based on name lore of U.S. history. Well, no, but it's American jingoism is what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's all about it feels like a Michael Bay movie. It really kind of does.
Except if people actually liked it. Yeah.
People loved Independence Day when it came out. People loved it. The day it came out, I was going to go camping.
I'm saying people seem to like that movie, but no one likes Michael Bay movies.
Everyone likes Michael Bay movies. They just won't admit it. Everyone likes Michael Bay movies.
Everyone watches Michael Bay movies. Nobody likes them.
You can, don't get me wrong. His later movies have kind of not been that great, but like, I mean, the Transformer 4, 5, and then what was that one he did for Netflix?
Right,
6 Underground.
Name me one Michael Bay movie you think is good.
The Island is fucking phenomenal.
I've never seen it, so I can't judge. Fuck.
Oh my god. Okay, let's watch that trailer. I'll show you that trailer.
All right, fine.
No, dude, I'm telling you. Oh my god. If you've ever seen The Island. All right. No, Command Unit, we're not doing that tonight, buddy. We'll hold off till Thursday on that one or the end of the week. Okay, let's see here. The Island trailer. I can't believe you've never seen The Island. Like,
you can't believe I've not seen a lot of things.
I am exceptionally disturbed by that fact.
Look, I've only got so much existence that I have.
You know what though? You know what? You were born in 98 and this came out in 2005. So you were 7 and we're not watching this in 240p. What the ever loving fuck?
240p.
240p. I hate when they do that. It's all like,
well, you think I should have been asking my fucking parents to go to fucking theaters to see?
Yes. I think you should have asked your parents, been like, Mommy, Dad, I want to go see this movie. I want to go see The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Damn, Ewan McGregor. Okay, I'm interested.
Yeah. Hold on. You're talking about the Eternals. We talked about the Eternals last night. So, I mean, I can mention it again. It's stupid that people are review bombing it. That's about it. But all right. Anyway. All right. Cricket there. All right.
Yeah, let's continue.
DreamWorks and Warner Brothers.
Attention, residents.
Damn, collaborating.
Welcome to the lottery spin. Jordan to Delta. You're moving out to the island. Transported to the world's last paradise.
I think they're gonna kill you.
I'm going to the island.
There is no island! Come on!
Wow, what a twist,
2 of our products have escaped. Do not let him get away!
What was that?
I don't know! But I want one.
Hold on! This summer...
Tell me what's going on!
They're gonna come looking for you.
Good job!
You're copies of people. So one of them gets sick and they need a new part, they take it from you.
I'm sorry, I'm not ready to die.
From Michael Bay.
How come we never did this before?
The director of The Rock and Armageddon.
That tongue thing is amazing.
I know you're new to this whole human thing, but backpacks for boys, purses for girls. Understand?
We're not idiots.
Well, excuse me, miss. I'm so smart I can't wait to go to the island.
Ewan McGregor.
I just want to live. I don't care how.
Scarlett Johansson.
Don't try me like it!
You still think there's an island?
It is a legitimately good movie.
It looks like a Michael Bay movie. I don't know.
It is a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, it's kind
See
of
right there. What does it say right there? Directed by Michael Bay.
Oh, so it's not good. That's what you're telling me.
No, what I'm telling you is it's very good. Also, apparently Scarlett Johansson was 21 in that movie.
All right. Is it good or is it a Michael Bay movie?
No, it's good. It is good and not just for a Michael Bay movie. That's what I'm talking about. It's good and it's not just because have you seen Pain and Gain?
No.
Okay, we'll watch that. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna
watch that next.
I want to red pill you. I want to red pill you on some good ass fucking Michael Bay shit, dude. Michael Bay isn't like fucking the perfect filmmaker, but like
you could have stopped it there.
Watch it. And here we go. The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, dude. Fucking
Wahlberg.
yeah.
I'm hot. I'm big.
No, you're not.
No.
This is based on a true story.
My name is Daniel Lugo, and I believe in fitness. All this began because it was time to push myself harder.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Otherwise, I was looking at another 40 years of wearing sweatpants to work.
Mr. Doble, are you currently using steroids?
I think they messed me up.
Don't worry, that's what we specialize in here. Penis magic.
Yeah, that's a person.
I'm a self-made man. I made a lot of money.
Maybe yourself ought to spend some of it on a salad.
You know who invented salad? Poor people.
What's going on, D.L.? You ever just get tired of being where you are, Adrian?
No, I kind of like it here. I mean, the waits are new to
I mean, in life, man. When's the last time you paid your rent when it was due?
I got a plan to change that. Where'd you do your time, pal?
Up north.
How you fixed for a job now?
You just can't kidnap a guy and take his things. That's so illegal.
Sure we can.
Victor Kershaw is a criminal prick who deserves bad stuff to happen to him.
We go through with this. Nobody gets hurt, right?
Oh, man. We snatch him.
There he is!
We grab him. He signs a few signatures. We give him a protein shake. He doesn't even know what happened. I watched a lot of movies, Paul. I know what I'm doing.
The Sun Gym gang has successfully acquired every asset you had.
What happens now?
Now I go to work.
I gotta get a pump.
That's it. It's good. It hurts. I know it does. That's it. Get it. You said no violence.
And I meant it when I said it, I swear to God.
I cannot kill.
Duly noted. Look, when this is over, we'll all go camping, all right?
Okay.
So this was the thing with this movie is this was a challenge to Michael Bay because the budget on this movie was only $29 million. And so it was, can Michael Bay do a movie and do it for $29 million and make it look like it's a much more expensive film? And it's actually a good movie. So
They've got Captain America in it. That's crazy.
it's got Captain America. It's got Sully from Uncharted. It's got Black Adam. It's got pre-weight loss Rebel Wilson. It's got Tony Shalhoub. It's it's got, you know, I mean, no, it's the thing is that Pain and Gain was actually a solid film. It was oh, hold on here. No, who said, wait, Shifty Game says Snowfall is basically GTA 5 early with the way they go back and forth. What's I don't know what Snowfall is. You know, but anyway, no, that's the thing though, is there's, yeah, I kind of agree. It's not the closest thing to a GTA movie, but it feels like it's set in Miami in the mid 1990s. So it kind of makes it. The thing is, it's a good movie. And again, Music Man here is right. It has everything. And The Rock is good in the movie. So, you know, like there's a lot of good stuff there, man. Like Michael Bay has done some movies. Like, did you ever see The Rock?
Just the movie just called The Rock? I've never even heard of that before.
Motherfucker, you're making me do this.
This is the last time I can watch Trevor. I gotta get some rest after.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I'm just saying. You brought this on yourself.
I brought it on myself, did I?
You brought it on yourself. Again, hold on. Let me find it. Let me find a trailer that is not, and it's like 360p. Come on.
360p.
360p. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to tell a pixel from a fucking pixel. Man.
Here we go. Buena Vista International.
Buena Vista.
Following is a state secret, gentlemen. Disclose it to any party and you will be subject to prosecution.
Dawn Simpson.
His name is John Mason, British national, incarcerated on Alcatraz in 1962. Escaped in 63. There's no identity in the United States or Great Britain. He does not exist.
Secrets have a way of coming back to haunt you.
There's a hostage situation on Alcatraz. Hostage, 81 tourists. The Rock's a tourist attraction.
The one you train to defend you becomes your greatest threat.
A battery of VX gas rockets is presently deployed to deliver a highly lethal strike on the population of the San Francisco Bay Area.
And the one you abandon becomes your only hope.
You go talk to him.
Me?
Yeah.
Hiya. I'm an agent with the FBI.
Holy
I'm
shit,
Stanley
it's
Kutsky.
that guy.
But of course you are. At least he got his name right.
Now, all that stands between a city and a disaster.
The power of this chemical is way beyond anything you can imagine.
That's
It's
why you're coming
him?
with us.
Is a man who's never seen combat.
You're a chemical freak.
I'm a chemical super freak, actually.
And another who's been out of action for 30 years.
Show us on the blueprints.
I can't. My blueprint was in my head.
Fortunately, some things you never forget.
But don't worry. It'll all come back to me.
From Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, the producers of Top Gun and Crimson Tide, and Michael Bay, the director of Bad Boys.
Welcome to the Rock. We got visitors.
Sean Connery.
You sure you're ready for this?
I'll do my best.
Your best.
Your best.
Winners always
Losers
whine.
always whine about their best.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Listen, I'm just a biochemist. I drive a Volvo, a beige one. So what do you say you cut me some friggin' slack?
Ed Harris.
Fire.
This summer, get ready to rock.
Damn. Imagine if your only hope was Nicolas Cage.
If it was Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery and The Rock, then we'd be fine.
No, what if it was just Nicolas Cage?
Just Nicolas Cage, then we'd have Con Air, and we'd be fine.
Oh, Jesus.
You've never heard of Con Air either, have you?
Yeah, I've totally heard of Con Air.
I mean,
Con Air.
like, well, dude, I fucking love The Rock, man. I love The Rock.
I think he's a movie star.
Well, yeah, yeah, I guess, man. No, I freaking, I saw Rhea put a comment on there. She's like, I couldn't tell. Oh, she says here, I confuse Michael Bay movies with Jerry Bruckheimer movies, especially from the 90s. Well, because that was all, they were roughly the same. I mean, that was Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, who actually, believe it or not, they gave Michael Bay one of his first directorial jobs or directing jobs with that old Got Milk commercial, like the Who Shot Aaron Burr. That was Michael Bay, and that was also produced by Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, and that's how they met him, and that's how they got to working on Bad Boys, and from there they did The Rock, and then they did Armageddon, and they did Bad Boys 2, and Bruckheimer, you know, was kind of big back in the day because of the action movies he produced, like, you know, he did like Con Air and a bunch of films from back then. But Shogun here asks a good question. How about the theory that The Rock was a sequel to Connery's Bond? That's an interesting one.
It's a theory, yeah.
It's a theory. It's a Shogun theory. But I mean, yeah, I can see that a little bit. I can see that's what they were definitely going for with the movie. And but man, I've seen The Rock like so many fucking times. I love that movie. Nihilist here is right. 90s Nicolas Cage was the best. Show the Armageddon trailer in Pearl Harbor. Nah, there's more things to cover, and I know Annie's got to bounce.
Yeah, I gotta hop off now. Actually, I gotta go get some Zeds. Gotta go chill out and get some.
All right, man.
Thanks for having me, though, man.
Yeah, thanks. Go ahead and pass out. I know you're gonna sleep well. You're gonna dream of Nicolas Cage movies.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Thanks for that. All right. Well, good night, man.
All right, I'll see you later, buddy. Thank you.
Take it easy.
All right, have a good one. Okay, so let's take a look here at, and I've already kind of effed up my timestamps. So if you're watching this on the VOD, I'm sorry. There's not going to be any timestamps today. So anyway, Carol Baskin is not happy that she's in the new Tiger King 2 documentary. She, because we were watching, Mad Max was on the other night and showed me the trailer. And we were watching it, and I was laughing. I'm like, oh, I remember if you guys were here, I had said it's weird that Carol Baskin was in it because she like hated the documentary. So I thought that was really weird that she would be in it, and then also that they were talking about who killed her husband, because I don't see why she would be a part of that at all. But it turns out that wasn't the case, which is why she was suing Netflix because of this. So this is a report from The Hollywood Reporter, who will definitely content ID claim this video because they're terrible. But let's find out.
Carol Baskin is taking Tiger King 2 to court. The Big Cat Sanctuary owner is suing Netflix just days after the streamer released the trailer for Tiger King 2 and filed an emergency motion for a temporary restraining order that would bar them, quote, from any use of film footage of the Baskins and the Big Cat Rescue Sanctuary in Tiger King 2 or in any related promotion or advertising. Baskin, along with her husband Howard, claims the footage breaches appearance releases dated in 2016 and 2018 and that filmmakers have no rights to sequels, remakes, or derivative projects. Elsewhere, they claim that the series made their business look like the, quote, ethical and moral equivalent of Joe Exotic's Roadside Zoo. Further, the couple argues that the first season of Tiger King, quote, portrayed Carol Baskin as a murderer who disposed of her late husband's remains by feeding them to her big cats, and as a result received hate mail, harassment, and death
That's not
threats.
good. That's not
However,
good. I don't
on
like
Monday,
that.
U.S. District Judge Virginia Hernandez Covington denied the motion for a temporary restraining order. While the court understands the Baskins' frustration, it does not appear that inclusion of defendants' footage of the Baskins will cause any immediate harm that cannot be compensated with monetary damages. The judge also isn't convinced stopping the series is in the public's best interest. While the judge denied the Baskins' emergency relief, she didn't reach the merits of their claim and said the court takes no position on whether the Baskins will be able to establish entitlement to a preliminary injunction. Netflix denied to comment on the complaint. For more details on the story, head to the article on thr.com. And for the latest...
Oh, you got to be kidding me. So, okay, right. Well, McLeod here says right off the bat, I hate the fact that there's even a second season of this. You know what, man? Like, here's the thing. I get you. I totally get you. But I'm also 100% on board with there being a second season. I loved Tiger King. I thought that it was really great. However, this is a situation where I completely understand why Carol Baskin is trying to stop it. I mean, obviously, when it came out last year, it blew up. And you know what? There was definitely a downside to people that were believing that she killed her husband and sending her all sorts of nasty threats. And I don't agree with any of that. I don't support any of that, obviously. But the reality of it is, in this situation, Carol Baskin absolutely, if it does not have a legal leg to stand on, she signed away the waivers. If they're using old footage, it's footage that they already had. And but did you hear what they said there about the judge saying that that it's nothing that won't be able to be fixed through monetary damage, which means, like, you know, hey, sue Netflix and they'll pay you money to go away. So she could get money on that. But he also said that it's not necessarily in the public's best interest to block the release of the documentary. So what does that mean? What is this? That the judge is looking at the case and going like, I watched the documentary and girl, I think you threw your husband from a plane. That's maybe what's going on. I don't quite know. RPK here asks, could this lawsuit stop Tiger King 2 from releasing this month? No, they wouldn't be able to. If the judge denied the injunction or denied the motion, sorry. I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand all the talk. If denied the suit to stop it from its release, she's going to go after it monetarily. She's going to go after it in courts. Netflix might just pay her. But here's, at the same time, this is literally the best fucking thing for Netflix. they're not going, they'll pay the legal fees to drag this thing out through the course of this month. And it's also, by the way, look, it's on both of their ends that they're going to profit off of the publicity of this particular situation. So let me explain why. So what's going on with this is that it's going to be, Netflix, again, they like the attention. Look at the whole Dave Chappelle thing. They've made a much larger impact value on that closing special, the closer special, as well as all the other specials that have made it worth the money that they have paid to Dave Chappelle over the span of the last couple of years. They don't care about negative press. Remember, look at all the negative online press surrounding Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe revelation. The show came out, they tried to attack it. It actually ended up getting a lot of attention, doing pretty well. And when this trailer dropped last week for season 2, it was actually met with a fair amount of praise. So obviously that tactic worked. People went to see it who may not have watched it simply because they didn't hear about it outside of the controversy. Netflix doesn't care. They know exactly what's going to come from it. But in the case of Carol Baskin has profited greatly, and I mean greatly, off of the Tiger King documentary. She was on Dancing with the Stars. That elevated her personal status and her personal brand up to upper echelon levels. She was on the talk of everyone's tongue for quite some time. And yeah, people out there believe she killed her husband. And if she didn't kill her husband, she's got nothing to worry about. People already believe that anyway. And people in the big cat rescue industry, they already knew about it because Joe Exotic had been running his mouth about it for literally years leading up to the release of the documentary. So her trying to fight it is just going to end up pushing a Streisand effect, which means that more people are going to go and they're going to watch Tiger King from last year, or they're going to watch it to recap before the new season starts. And that's going to then, again, bring more value to that property in Netflix's eyes, again, extending its value. And Carol is going to be able to use it as a way to drum up support from her supporters and get a bunch of free press, because there's a lot of articles talking about her today. She's going to end up getting a whole bunch of, monetary support from her supporters that are going to sit there and say like, hey, listen, we need money to fight this. We need money for this, blah, 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 blah. They're going to give her money. She's going to be able to go into that den, into that echo chamber, into her group, and be able to make a shitload of cash as a result of this. This is only going to benefit both entities exceptionally well. The only person who is not going to benefit is probably Joe Exotic, who is still in jail for his crimes of trying to get somebody to kill Carol Baskin. And that's where it's at. Like, that's the best part about this, is like everyone is going to win. We as viewers get a dumpster fire to watch that we all really liked last year. Both Netflix and Carol Baskin are going to be able to make a lot of money off of creating this kind of controversy. And then as soon as Tiger King 2 comes and goes and fails to have the same kind of social impact that the last season did, we're not going to hear much out of Carol Baskin or Joe Exotic again for quite some time. And I say this because if you all remember in 2015, Netflix put out the Making a Murderer documentary where people lost their shit over Stephen Avery in that whole case. And then they eventually put out Making a Murderer Part 2, which was a follow-up to that original story. And that one barely even registered on the radar because, again, you can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. Like, you can't synthesize that. You can't recreate that. It's going to feed into certain people, but it's not going to have the same kind of cultural impact. So there's that very much. McLeod here saying that I just think this kind of shit is kind of IQ destroying reality TV garbage. These people, especially given the kind of shit they've done, shouldn't have gotten the fame or fan base they have now. You know what, man? But that is very much where things are. That is very much where things are. With we always have a tendency of rewarding exceptionally shitty behavior. It's only if a person actually has remorse that they don't get support. But if you come out and you become a villain and you embrace being a villain, you will then find yourself being able to get a lot of rampant support from a lot of different people. And that is very true. There are people out there who look at YouTubers who have done exceptionally shitty things and come out and played the villain, and they've only done better by leaning in to that particular mindset because people out there like a fucking heel. They like a heel. People like a villain. They like it. They like that shit. But if a person comes out and offers an actual apology for screw ups that they have, They don't get any of that. They don't get any of that. They get dogged on for it. Trust me. Rainbow here asking the question, do you think Amazon and Netflix will merger? No. God, no. Amazon stock is very, very, very good at this point in time. So no, we're definitely not going to be seeing that anytime soon. But all right here. Hold on here. 75 YBA says, I canceled Netflix after Daredevil ended. Damn, that's missing out on a lot of good shit. There's a lot of good stuff on Netflix, man. There's a lot of good stuff over there. And then Tony here says, in other words, she wins. She being Carol, she wins no matter what. Yep, 100%, dude. 100%. But all right, why don't we talk about this particular story today that a lot of, I'm going to try this here. How does this look? This is a new feature on StreamYard. Can I move this over here at all? I don't know how to do that. Anyway, I don't like that. So according to Dark Horizons, and also a lot of people in the Snyderverse Twitter sphere, they were all happy today that there was a first casting announcement that Sophia Boutella is joining Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. Now, this film is one that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I like Zack Snyder, obviously. I want to see his take on a Star Wars type world. And this is what we know right here. Sophia Boutella, Kingsman, The Secret Service, Star Trek Beyond, The Mummy, will lead Zack Snyder's new Netflix and Stone Quarry Productions feature, Rebel Moon. And this is what they, how they describe it. This is the slug for it. When a peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy finds itself threatened by the armies of the tyrannical Regent Belisarius, they dispatch a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from neighboring planets to help them take a stand. So that's it. I mean, like, it's a very generic description. It's just a log line of a screenplay. Like, that's my only complaint here. It's like, give us a little bit more. All right. So, okay, cool. So a peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy. So Outer Rim. All right. Threatened by the army of the tyrannical Regent Belisarius, Darth Vader in the Empire, dispatches a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from neighboring planets to help them take a stand. So kind of like Rey, right? She's a young woman with a bit of a mysterious past. She doesn't know who her parents are. She doesn't know why she was left where she was left on Jakku. And she ultimately ends up seeking out other warriors from neighboring planets, again, trying to find Han Solo, or eventually finding Han Solo, then trying to find Luke Skywalker, meeting Leia, meeting Finn, meeting Poe, meeting Chewie, right? All these other warriors and stuff. And then they're going to take a stand against the Empire here, very similar to the end sequence of the Rise of Skywalker. So you can kind of see exactly where in Star Wars he's pulling from. It's the OT, motherfuckers. It's the OT. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, because clearly Sophia Boutella, she's going to end up being the woman who ends up being being the chosen one, if you will. And she hasn't necessarily, in my opinion, been given a good leading role. You know, she was good in Kingsman: The Secret Service. This screenshot here is from Atomic Blonde. She didn't have a much of a role outside of making out with Charlize Theron, getting a little bit of that nice girl on girl action. But in the meantime, not too much there. So I think we're going to end up seeing, some stuff out of this one. Now, what I'm going to be curious about is how Zach intends on filming this. Is this going to be shot in a stagecraft-like environment? Is this whole thing going to be done, digitally in the volume? And how is that going to impact how it looks? I really want to see him play within the digital space. I was excited for kind of an unchained Zack Snyder and Army of the Dead. Unfortunately, Army of the Dead is one that I liked the initial premise for. I liked the setup for. I overall enjoyed the movie, but it still relatively fell flat for me in certain areas. At the end of the movie, I didn't necessarily feel the need to go back and watch it again, even though there are a shitload of Easter eggs that are in the movie kind of alluding to the larger environment. Like, did any of you guys see that interview that Zach did where he talked about the Easter egg on the Olympus casino? And it was talking about like people going through a portal to fight the zombies in like another dimension. And that was something that apparently had happened. I don't know if this is mentioned at all in Army of Thieves. I haven't seen it yet, but he mentioned this in an interview the other day. And I'm like, what the fuck is Army of the Dead? Like, what is happening here? You know, and I know we're going to get more with Army of the Dead, Lost Vegas, but it's super weird. Anyway, but you know, it's interesting, but I think this one could most likely also open up another franchise, open up another series of films over there at Netflix. And if they do give Zach full creative control, as they did with Army of the Dead, and he brings in enough impact value to warrant the continuing of spending money on these properties, as well as putting them in theaters, because that's what they also are going to do, and raising more money and awareness from that, Zach is going to be at Netflix for a long time, right? I know he's got a 2-year exclusivity deal. Only 2 years, guys, and then he'll be back, right? Only 2 years. Never mind, he's got 2 feature films on the horizon that we know about, one going into production early next year, and who knows when Planet of the Dead is going to start filming, probably towards maybe the end of next year. Obviously, after, you know, looking at how the Snyder Cut was being put together, as well as Army of the Dead concurrently, Zach can juggle multiple projects, and he's got people and teams in place to be able to handle that. So that's going to mean that we're probably going to get maybe one Zack Snyder film a year over at Netflix. And hey, that ain't bad once he gets rolling. So, and again, also just for you fans out there that haven't quite picked up on it yet, Zack Snyderverse is now for Zack's original content, which is, that's what he wants it to be called. So effectively, he wants a disassociation from DC. He has moved on from DC at this point. And he's basically all but said that. As tragic as that is, because I'd like to see the rest of it continue, it is better for him on that front. Holy shit, man. Draco Star here with a $50 Australian. Thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate that. Saying, just watched Army of Thieves. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it. Let's see. I'm going to try to watch it. Soon, like this week, I'm going to try to watch it. I'm trying to figure out my timing on it is, and then I'll do a review on it. I do want to really sit down and watch more movies. I've been doing a lot of researching of like these like crazy true stories and stuff. It's what I've been researching recently, but I do want to watch more movies and then talk about them and then do discussions and streams and stuff. I do want to do more of that. I'm not necessarily interested in like drama stuff as much. Sometimes it's fun, but I do want to get back into watching stuff. But man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Because it does help support the channel. And yeah, I'll get to it and we'll talk about it, you know, maybe do a call-in stream on it or something like that. Because I see theories on Twitter about it, non-spoilery stuff I kind of get, and it's intriguing. But I haven't heard anyone in my personal circle like rave about it past seeing it. In fact, a few people have told me that it took them a couple tries to get through it because of everything. Now it's like, but I did that with Dune last week, as I watched Dune in two parts. I watched like an hour, and then the next night I watched the next hour and a half, and I still haven't reviewed it yet. Is it too late to review Dune? Is it too late to review Army of Thieves? That's always a question, isn't it? Like what is too late to review? I don't know at this point, but thank you for that, man, very much. Let's see. Carlos says, but Jarbo, he's coming back. The Mercer will make it happen. No, unfortunately not. Geeks here says, I know Snyderverse isn't coming back for DC. Yeah, man. And look, that's just the way that it is. That's just the way that it is. And it's unfortunate, but it's business. Rational here says, I really hope critics don't trash Rebel Moon because I don't like Zack Snyder. Here's the thing. None of that is going to matter. None of that is going to matter because the critics don't mean shit. Don't mean shit for Netflix. So we're totally fine there. Like we're totally okay. Let's see here. Watcher says, Zach just tweeted a Dune parody / joke about Justice League Part 2. Oh, that's cool. I follow him, but like I don't see his tweets very often. So there's definitely that one. All right. Let's see exactly what do I have left on the docket tonight. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the last one I'll talk about because I am getting close to midnight and I do have to get to bed because of course, you know, life gets in the way of everything. I saw this one tonight and apparently there is one of the actors, one of the stars of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise has come out and supported Johnny Depp, saying here, this is a Cinema Blend article, by the way, Should Johnny Depp be allowed to return to Pirates of the Caribbean? His co-star speaks out. So this is what's going on here. We have got Kevin McNally, who played Mr. Gibbs throughout the franchise, doesn't see any reason why Depp can't return. He spoke with the Express saying this: "I've never seen a hint of any dark side to Johnny. I see a great humanitarian and a beautiful human being. I don't see any impediment for him coming back and playing Jack Sparrow." Now, in a perfect world, Johnny would be developing the 6 Pirates of the Caribbean film, which would then pick up from where the cliffhanger was at the end of the last movie, which would be really cool to see all of that play out. But unfortunately, there are 2 reboots that are happening. You have 2 film. You have a reboot with Margot Robbie, and then you've got a continuation in that universe, the original Pirates of the Caribbean universe, that is going to be a side story with different characters. However, not at all involving Captain Jack Sparrow, which I think is utterly ridiculous. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is Johnny Depp. Without Johnny Depp, you don't have anything. I'm sorry, not even Margot Robbie, as much as I love Margot Robbie, will be able to salvage at all this film, like this franchise. She won't be able to do it. People, like my stepmom is a massive Pirates of the Caribbean fan. When I told her that Johnny Depp was removed from the next film, she's like, "I'm not going to go see it. I'm just not going to go see it." And she won't. She'll maybe watch it on Disney Plus, but she won't go see it in the theaters. And how many women out there who've spent the last 18 years loving Johnny Depp in that role? How many men? How many people? Let's just genderless this shit. How many people are going to sit there and go, "You know what? I'm just not going to see it because it doesn't have Captain Jack Sparrow." And but then again, the controversy might also then again work in Disney's favor, where people want to go see it because it doesn't have Captain Jack and they want to see how good it is. It's very weird. All right, and then also Mr. Gibbs does go on to say here, he says, "I think there was a general feeling that without Jack, there is no Pirates franchise," which is very true. And there's probably a lot of truth to that. But now there have been questions about that. Certainly why not have other pirate films, and certainly then why not have Jack back or Jack playing a different part? I mean, I was musing about this the other day, and you can easily think of stories in which maybe somebody is looking for Jack and come to Mr. Gibbs and say, "How would I find Jack?" You know, and again, he's talking about, I mean, you know, Mr. Gibbs has been in these movies all the way since the beginning. So he's definitely a major part of everything here. I would say probably, you know, it's definitely one of those scenarios where Johnny Depp is the face of the franchise. If you do not have any continuation with him and you write him out, you are signaling the death knell of that franchise. That is very true. If you know, it'd be like if the MCU decided that they just wanted to forget that Iron Man ever existed. You know, right? Just they like, yeah, let's just get rid of him. People won't care. No, man, people care because people went to those movies because of Robert Downey Jr. His death made people cry. Now, look, I'll be fair here. Pirates of the Caribbean 4, Pirates of the Caribbean 5 were not my favorite films. I didn't necessarily like them as much as the previous ones. But even Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3 were a bit of a rough go at times as well. The franchise isn't perfect, and it would definitely serve from bringing in decent writers and a decent enough director in order to maybe kind of scale it down a little bit in order to kind of bring it back to a more manageable tone. The original, Gore Verbinski in the original did a great job with that. Dead Man's Chest and At World's End definitely had trouble because they expanded the lore heavily, right? They definitely handled that lore insanely. You know, they expanded it like a motherfucker, and that ended up being a bit of a problem, I think, for the fan base going forward. And because it's like, where do you take it? Which is why the ending of Pirates 5 was so interesting, because it's like, oh, holy shit. Now this opens up Pandora's box to an extent. And now we're going to be getting a whole different, you know, a whole different story can take place. And that was interesting. And of course, Disney being Disney, they just screwed it up. So I don't know if the divorce is going to have a problem with it. I'm hoping that he wins his case here, because if he wins his case here in the States, that will actually then work well for Johnny Depp. If he ends up not winning the case, then the door has shut on Captain Jack Sparrow here. But holy shit, Draco, sorry man, another 50 Australian, buddy. Thank you so much. Saying here, don't get to see Dune until December 2nd. Oh man, that's unfortunate, dude. That's unfortunate. That's not like, I don't understand. The movie opened in like Europe a month ago, and then it opened up here, and you don't get to see it in Australia until then. I mean, like that. This is why I really hate the way that they handle the international rollout for some of these films. You know, like it's so stupid how they do the region by region breakdown. I'm not going to advocate piracy, but do what you got to do. Still see the movie in the largest screen possible. But I don't think it's fair to restrict that from people. I think in the digital age, that is such an antiquated, draconian approach to how people can see films. You know, like if I can sit there and I can stream a movie, you know, it should be available in every region. But then again, like there are a lot of archaic and old ass, contracts about distribution deals and everything else. And maybe in the next 10 years that will all go away. But who knows? Who knows, man? I know it. Oh, it's related to the lockdowns. Okay. Man, that is unfortunate. Yeah, I know the lockdowns out there are kind of crazy. I do want to see Dune in theaters. I watched it on my TV last week. I enjoyed it, but yeah, seeing it in theaters would be pretty good. I would love to go spend a day just going to the theater. You know, my theaters here, like they're not really busy in the evening, even on opening nights of certain things. And so so for me, it's not a big problem. I can go in and there's maybe like 5 other people in the auditorium and we're all fine. But yeah, I would love to just spend a couple days going and seeing some films and catching up on stuff because to me, I'm not a religious person, but a movie theater is my church. So I need to go and pray to the altar of the silver screen and bathe in the butter of the popcorn and ask for forgiveness from the toilet that I destroy when I cover my popcorn with jalapeno juice. Good times. But I do appreciate your support, and I really am looking forward to you getting the chance to watch it. We will have to talk about that, obviously, when it comes out. And that's kind of also the problem, though, is like on YouTube, and this is just kind of a general, rant, I guess you could say, about YouTube. When it comes to YouTube itself, the biggest problem is it's like being first, right? Because being first will put you into the algorithm, it puts you into the other shit, and that ends up, if you get there late, that's kind of the problem. So but maybe slowing things down and not doing all that, it does make it maybe a little bit easier down the road. So there's that one. Preach, brother, damn straight. Geeks here saying, I hope Depp wins. He is a favorite actor. I hope he wins too, man. Amber Heard is like, even the thing is like, it might be difficult to win only because like he's suing her over that op-ed in the Washington Post where she never named him personally, directly, but at the same time, it was all about him. It was all about their relationship. And so, I mean, it doesn't take a lot to kind of figure that one out, I think. But yeah, there we go on that one. But all right, guys, it is just about midnight. I have got to get to some sleep. I unfortunately do. Oh yeah, McClouder saying, I finally watched that Underhaven live stream earlier in regards to that particular someone. Yeah, what a fucking creep. Yeah. I mean, I listened to it too. We talked about it a bit last night. The thing is we were talking about Eddie. It's Eddie Evolution is who we were talking about. I'll say it because I did the live stream. Eddie became very demanding and very pushy and became very aggressive towards RJ and towards Saggy Melons, and was very upset that I gave them a spot on the panel and that I didn't let him hang out for longer than a few minutes. And he actually, started criticizing them, and it ended up kind of opening the door to learning more about who he is and the stuff, how he conducts himself online, publicly, I should say. And so I told him privately that I would appreciate it if he didn't come around for a while and kind of get his shit sorted out, because the stuff he was saying to women was creepy. It was super creepy, like super creepy. You know what I mean? Like the kind of stuff where it's like, oh, bro, no. Like you can like think that shit all you want. That's some fantasy stuff, but you don't say that to people. You know what I mean? Like these women, you don't, they're no, you don't say that kind of shit. But then he freaked out on that one, and he started coming around the other day, started making threats the other day. So he's permanently just banned from this show. And other people are probably going to end up doing that too. And that's unfortunate because, no one's wanting him to get canceled, but people want there to just be accountability and like, hey, maybe not be as big of a creep on the internet. Like that's really what it boils down to. So there's that. Tony asking, does Anthony still bug me? No, but I found out last night that Anthony called somebody and left a voicemail and was talking about me. I don't know. I don't know. I apparently attract some interesting folk, and that's okay. I like most people. Look, there's boundaries that have got to happen on this stuff. I like streaming and talking to people, but there's boundaries. And we got to maintain those boundaries. And if we don't, then it's then I'm putting myself at risk. And then that's not fair to me. So, it's definitely something that I don't like to ask anyone to not come back. I don't like to mute people, but I'm also at a point in my own personal life where I'm not going to suffer any bullshit. You know what I mean? Like if I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to be bullied into something, nor am I going to be guilted into something. And that's fine because that's my take. But at the end of the day, just know that I appreciate everybody, right? I appreciate everybody. And I really do enjoy you guys coming around and you guys talking and you guys engaging. And I like having those conversations with you. And I like opening up the lines and I like having all that stuff. And so I don't want that to go away. The problem though, is not everybody has the ability to control themselves. And that ends up ruining it for everybody else, unfortunately. But that's not on you guys to police. That's not on you guys to control. That's nothing that's on you. It's just a harsh reality of this particular job and of this whole thing. So there's that one. But thankfully, YouTube does put in a lot of safeguards that we can operate and we can activate to kind of protect from some stuff, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, what we could do tomorrow, and I'll probably put this up in a community post in the morning. If there's any just like other, content creators, talking about movies you want me to react to, because I feel like the news is going to be slow this week. So if there's anyone out there that's put out a video that is, on that whole thing, like on a content or something, we can kind of critique it and break it down. Cause I do think it's funny to sometimes listen to people call out, like BS news and stuff. It's just something to consider. It doesn't have to be Geeks and Gamers or anything with the Fandom Menace. It could be other stuff, but just something we can do together if it's slow. So think about that one there. Mo here for $2. Thank you, buddy. Says, thank you, Jarbo. I am interesting. Well, you are, Mo. You are very, very, very much like that. Thank you very much, Kira. Appreciate it, buddy. And then McLeod is saying, Eddie tries to act confident, kinky dom and shit. But if he was put in front of a real dominant or dom, he'd be crumbling to pieces as he gets made into their personal hand puppet. Yeah, the joke that I made was he kind of strikes me as an Anthony Perkins type guy, like a real Norman Bates type guy. Doesn't get his way, feels entitled. And the problem is the entitlement. That's really what it boils down to, McLeod. It's the entitlement to act that way and get upset that people don't like it. Like, again, I've been in situations where that, like I shouldn't act a certain way that I did, and it bit me in the ass. And it's like people called me out on it rightfully. But I'm also saying, like, I'm not here to cancel the guy. I want him to not be that way. That's all it is. And I think that's a fair request. Don't treat women like that. I think that's a pretty fair request. It's not SJW of me. It's like, don't send women on the internet that you find attractive tweets of eggplant emojis and squirt emojis and asking if you can make the mark of Zorro on their stomach. You know, it just doesn't work that way. Anyway, all right. So Rainbow here says, do you think we're going to get a Star Wars and Star Trek crossover? Nah, hell no. No, Paramount and Disney ain't going to work together. So no, we're fine. We're fine on that one there. But all right, guys. Orishki here says, Eternals is a woke disaster. The homophobic attacks are just passionate fans. Yeah, that was the biggest load of shit I've heard. Yeah, if it's a good Grace video, geeks, by all means, send it my way. We'll take a look at it. But all right, everybody. On that note, I am going to go the mark. Yeah, just think about that one. The Mark of Zora executive. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you all later. Thank you again very much. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one and peace out.